The Galactic Council's emergency session had been called to order for the third time in 5 centuries. Ambassador Kanat of the Zephyrian Empire stood before the crystalline podium, his forearms gesticulating wildly as he addressed the assembled representatives of 1,000 worlds. "It's impossible," he declared, his voice echoing through the vast chamber. "Dead planets don't simply reappear in their original orbits." Malis, the human delegate, remained silent in her observer's chair. She was young by galactic standards, barely 30 Earth years, but her species had learned patience during their long exile among the stars. Her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display showing Sol 3's miraculous return, exactly where Earth had vanished 500 years ago. The Arctican representative, a being of pure crystallized thought, pulsed with skeptical energy. "Our deep space sensors confirmed the planet's destruction. The human's sun went supernova. We have the recordings. And yet," Malis finally spoke, her voice cutting through the babel of alien languages, "here we are." The chamber fell silent. It was the first time in decades that a human had spoken in the Galactic Council. After the apparent destruction of Earth, the scattered human colonies had been relegated to observer status, refugees dependent on the charity of older civilizations. Kanat's compound eyes swiveled toward her. "Explain this impossibility, human." Malis rose from her chair, her simple gray uniform a stark contrast to the ornate robes and biomechanical enhancements of the other delegates. "When our sun began to die, humanity didn't simply accept extinction. We did what we've always done. We adapted." The hologram shifted, showing Earth as it appeared now. The planet looked normal from space, but something was different. The auroras were wrong, dancing in patterns that defied physics. The moon hung in an impossible orbit, too close yet perfectly stable. 500 years ago, our greatest minds achieved something thought impossible," Malis continued. "We didn't just evacuate Earth, we moved it. The entire planet, through folded space-time to a pocket dimension while our sun died and was reborn." A ripple of disbelief swept through the assembly. The hegemony's war master, a towering insectoid creature, clicked his mandibles in what might have been laughter. Humans barely achieved interstellar flight. "You claim to have mastered dimensional manipulation." "Desperation breeds innovation," Malis replied calmly. "While you advanced species explored the galaxy, we learned to reshape reality itself. 500 years of isolation taught us things your civilizations never dreamed possible." The hologram zoomed closer to Earth's surface. Cities gleamed with technologies that seemed to bend light itself. Massive structures rose from the oceans, their purposes unknowable. The very atmosphere shimmered with energy patterns that hurt to observe directly. Kanat's diplomatic training kept his voice level, but Malis could see the fear in his chromatophore patches. "What do you want?" "Want?" Malis smiled, and for the first time, the assembled delegates noticed something unsettling about her expression. "We want to rejoin galactic civilization, to share in trade, culture, and knowledge, just as we always have. And if we refuse?" The Arctican's crystalline form pulsed with aggressive frequencies. "That would be unfortunate." Malis gestured to the hologram, which now showed Earth's impossible moon. "Did you know that pocket dimensions can be accessed from anywhere in normal space? That 5 centuries of isolation gave us time to hollow out celestial bodies and fill them with projects?" The implications hit the chamber like a physical blow. The moon had been moved. If humans could relocate planets and hide them in dimensional folds, then every moon, every asteroid, every apparently lifeless rock in the galaxy could be hiding something. The Zephyrian ambassador's arms trembled slightly. "How many?" "Enough." Malis's voice carried the weight of 5 centuries of preparation. "But we're not conquerors, Ambassador Kanat. We're still human. We still dream of cooperation over conflict, of building rather than destroying. We've simply learned to ensure our survival." She paused, letting her words sink in. "The galaxy continued without us. You carved up our former colonies, dismissed our contributions to galactic civilization, relegated our survivors to refugee status. We understand. We were presumed dead." The hologram shifted again, showing not just Earth, but the entire Sol system. Every planet, every major asteroid, every space habitat gleamed with the same impossible energy signatures. The star itself pulsed with patterns that suggested it was no longer entirely natural. "But we're not dead," Malis continued. "We're evolved. 500 years of fighting reality itself to survive has taught us things that peaceful expansion never could. We've learned to make matter and energy dance to our will. We've learned to fold space like origami. We've learned to make dead stars live again. Kanat found his voice first. What are your terms? Simple. Full restoration of human status in galactic civilization. Trade agreements. Cultural exchange. The same rights and responsibilities we held before our death. Malice's smile never wavered. In return, we share our knowledge gradually, carefully, with proper safeguards. And if we refuse? The War Master repeated. Malice shrugged, a gesture that somehow conveyed infinite patience and terrible certainty. Then we remain in our pocket dimension. Occasionally we might borrow a moon or asteroid for our projects, perhaps rearrange a few solar systems that catch our interest. Nothing malicious, of course. We're explorers now, not conquerors. The chamber erupted in panicked chatter. Mollis waited, watching the delegates realize that humanity hadn't just survived, they had transcended. The weak, barely spacefaring species they remembered was gone, replaced by something that could casually reshape reality. Finally, Kanat called for order. The council will need time to deliberate. Of course, Malice nodded graciously. Take all the time you need. We've learned patience. She gestured to the hologram one final time. We'll be waiting. Right where we've always been. As the session ended and delegates hurried away in frightened clusters, Malice remained alone in the vast chamber, smiling up at the image of Earth. Impossible, inevitable, and absolutely definitively human. The galaxy would never be the same. But then again, neither would humanity.